Hello and welcome to the John Jay Boys Basketball Podcast, Episode 9. My name is Robert Sipe. I'm the boys basketball coach at John Jay High School, and let's talk about the week that was from February 2nd to February 7th. So we had a pretty good week this week. We traveled to Arlington on Monday. And we lost the game. I think we lost by 2 points, 37 to 35. Let me get that exact score up here. Yes, 37 to 35. Game was tied with about a minute to go in the game. And one of their players is it Brady Dunn, very good player. He was able to break free near the free throw line, and he was able to knock down a jumper to put Arlington up 37-35. And then we had some time left on the clock, but Arlington had only committed one foul in the fourth quarter, so they were able to foul us. And by the time they had four fouls on us, we only had I think 3 seconds left in the shot clock or the game clock, excuse me, and we didn't have any timeouts left. So I thought Boston Smith and Austin Sipe did a great job just quickly trying to communicate on, exactly what they were going to do. And Boston threw it to Austin, who was down on the low post. And then Boston Smith darted to the corner. Austin Sipe threw it back to him. And Boston was able to get up a three. I think it was partially blocked. And John Vaquel was able to get the loose ball, and he was able to get a look to tie the game from 2 point range, but neither bucket and neither shot went down, and we lost a heartbreaker there to Arlington, 37 to 35. I thought, and I told the players this, that the game was lost in the first half, and really by me as a coach. I was sort of obsessed with running our offense in one particular area of the court, with one particular isolation. And I kept going back to that, and it just wasn't working for us. I believed in it. That's why I kept going back to it. But it was a bad coaching decision on my end. And at halftime, we were down 16 to 9. We only scored 9 points in the first half, 4 in the first quarter, 5 in the second quarter. And I told the team after the game I thought I let them down. I was just really disappointed that we couldn't generate more offensively in that first half. We talked about it at halftime, and obviously fixed it in the second half. We scored 26 points in the second half, but we needed 28 to get to overtime, and those extra 2 points really could have come in that first half. But we learned our lesson from that loss, or at least I learned my lesson from that loss. And going into the Ossining game, we scripted the first six offensive possessions. So we talked about, this week being Super Bowl week. And I've got the Super Bowl pregame show on the TV right now. A lot of times football teams, especially NFL teams, but even high school teams, script their first 10, 15 offensive plays. So we did that for the Ossining game. And I thought that it really paid dividends. We'll talk about that in a second. Let's go back to the Arlington game. I got a couple more stats for you here on that Arlington game. We shot 29% from the field. They shot 27% from the field. So not great offensive outputs by either team. Again, the final score 37-35. But also a really good job by both teams defensively. A really, really tough and hardly contested game on the defensive end. Arlington out-rebounded us 2-1 in the first time that we played them. But this time we out-rebounded them by 4 rebounds. So we had 31 rebounds, and they had 27 rebounds for this game. So I was really happy with the performance from our entire team on the boards. I thought we did a nice job there rebounding the basketball and not giving Arlington so many second looks that we had given them, in our first matchup at John Jay. Turnovers continue to plague us a little bit. 17 turnovers we had to Arlington's 11. Again, overall, a really competitive game against a really good team. I think Arlington was the 4 seed heading into sectionals that week. Let me just look up for you right now where they stand at the end of the week. They may have dropped a spot or two. I'm pulling it up right now on my computer. I apologize. Nope, Arlington is still in the 4 spot. So to lose at Arlington only by 2 points to a team that is currently seated fourth in the section is pretty impressive. We're currently seated eighth, um, and um, and that is the story on the Arlington game. So again, lesson learned, at least from me as a coach. If something doesn't work the first time, maybe you can go back to it the second time. If it doesn't work the second time, we had a lot of other options in our playbook, and I, as a coach, just got obsessed with one particular isolation, and that turned out to be a bad decision for me and for our team. But we learned our lesson, or at least I learned my lesson. And going into that Ossining game, we had scripted the first 6 offensive possessions that we were going to run, assuming Ossining was in man, and they were in man, and it paid dividends. We scored 15 points in the first quarter alone. So at the end of the first quarter, we were up 15-7, and at halftime we were up 38-14. So much better job in the first half. Scoring 38 points against Ossining versus just the 9 that we had against Arlington. And of course, part of that is what we're calling from an offensive standpoint. But the other part of it is our players just executing and just being fantastic on the offensive end. So the Ossining game went well for us. We won 70-40. We shot 46% and we held Ossining to 30% shooting. Pretty impressive. We were 53% from 3-point range. We were 9 for 17 from 3-point range. Ossining was 17%, 4 for 23 from 3-point range. Turnovers, not as bad as the Arlington game. 14 turnovers for us, 14 for Ossining as well. And on the offensive rebounds, we really beat up Ossining. We had 12 offensive rebounds to their 2 offensive rebounds. And overall, we out-rebounded them 39-19. So we're doing a much better job on the boards, the last couple of games. Ossining, that was a great win for us. Again, a 70-40 win at home against Ossining. And, a game that we were able to get everybody in the game and everybody playing time. And, you always like to see that as a coach to get all the players out there playing if at all possible. And then on Friday, we went to Ketchum. And we had an excellent game at Ketchum. Always a great, game whenever John Jay's playing Ketchum. But the story of this game was the second and the fourth quarters. So in the second quarter, we outscored Ketchum 15-3. Pretty impressive, right? In the second quarter, we outscored Ketchum 15-3. However, in the fourth quarter, Ketchum outscored us 16-3. So not too sure what happened to Ketchum in the second quarter. Not too sure what happened to us in the fourth quarter, but respectively, each team disappeared on the offensive end, or the defensive teams really clamped down. I'm not too sure, but we squeaked out of there with a 1-point win, 39-38 at Ketchum. And let me give you some stats for that. Again, a very low scoring game. We shot 33% from the field. They shot 25%. We were 27% from 3-point range, 4 for 15. They were 31%, 8 for 26. We were only 64% from the free throw line. That was not good. They were 80%. Points in the paint. I thought Austin Sipe had a really good game against Ketchum. The first time we played them, Jarrell Bradley, I think, for Ketchum, the big guy. He's number 23 in the middle for Ketchum. He really, really hurt us. But not this game, primarily, in my opinion, because of Austin and his work defensively there against Jarrell. So back to the team stats there. I was telling you points in the paint. We outscored them 16-6 with points in the paint. So again, a real credit to our entire team defensively, but especially our interior guys, and that was really led by Austin Sipe, against Ketchum on Friday night. Rebounding, we out rebounded them by 4. We had 32; they had 28 rebounds. So again, some good presence in the paint for us. But again, turnovers, continue to be an issue for us. 15 turnovers in the game against Ketchum. I believe I had those stats in terms of the quarters. And let's see, the turnovers that we had 7 turnovers in the third quarter and 5 turnovers in the fourth quarter. So of our 15 turnovers, 12 of them came in the second half. So you can see in part why we didn't do too well in that fourth quarter against Ketchum. Let's see if any other stats here are jumping out at me on this particular game. Really nothing. But again, not a bad week to go 2-1, almost squeaking out a victory at Arlington, and then being able to beat Ossining at home by 30 points, and then beating Ketchum on the road. So 2-1 for us this week puts us at 9-9 overall. And that has us as a 8 seed in Section 1. And we have 2 more games remaining. So the 2 games that we have remaining are on Tuesday night. Both are home games. So Tuesday night against Mount Vernon. Mount Vernon is currently ranked 2nd in the section, and I'm sure they're probably ranked in the state as well. I don't have the state rankings in front of me. But on Tuesday, we play against Mount Vernon, 6:45. It's been years and years since we've played Mount Vernon, and even longer since we've hosted Mount Vernon. So, always an excellent basketball team this year, obviously no different. So that'll be a real tall, tough task for us against Mount Vernon on Tuesday. And that game tips off at 6:45 for us. Again, that's against Mount Vernon. And they are coming off of a 54-42 win at Scarsdale. So that'll be a tough one for us. And then on Thursday, we play our final game of the season against Ketchum. So we'll host Ketchum. And since it's our final home game of the year, we do this every year. Since it's the final home game, we have our senior night on the final home game of the year. And that'll be Thursday night against Ketchum, and that is a 7 p.m. scheduled tip-off. That's a part of a triple header. So the girls' JV will play at 3:30, then the girls' varsity will play at 5:15, and then we will play at 7 o'clock against Ketchum on Thursday. Now you may think, Thursday, that's a late night. It is not a school night for students. It is for teachers. But on did I say the 13th? That would be February 12th. Excuse me. So let me just recap that for you again. On Tuesday, February 10th, we host Mount Vernon at 6:45. And then Thursday, February 12th, we host Ketchum at 7 p.m. Again, it's the third game of a 3-game triple header. Girls JV at 3:30. Girls varsity at 5:15, and then we tip off at 7 o'clock. Likely going to be a bit of a later tip off than that because we've got our pregame senior ceremony that will honor our 5 seniors. I hope you had the chance to check out the podcast of the five seniors that we did earlier in the year, that was a good time where we spoke to each of our five seniors: Gabriel Condi, Michael Ferlivio, Vince Popovic, Austin Sipe, and John Vaquel. That was an episode that we did earlier in the year, but we will honor those five guys on Thursday night against Ketchum for their final home game of the season, regular season home game. Hopefully, we hope to get a sectional home playoff game. So currently, again, we're sitting at the 8 seed. Ossining is at the 9 seed. So if the season were to end today, it hasn't. But if the season were to end today, we would be the 8 seed and we would be hosting Ossining in the first round of the sectional tournament. But we've got two more games this week. Again, we host Mount Vernon on Tuesday, 6:45 tip. We host Ketchum on Thursday, 7 p.m. tip, the third game of a three-game triple header. So we've got a good week ahead of us. Looking forward to the week. I told the boys at the end of this past week at Ketchum that I'm really sad that the season's coming to an end. We've played 18 games. We're 9-9, and it's been one of the more enjoyable seasons that I've really had with any sport that I've coached here at John Jay, but definitely with the basketball program. This is a great group of guys we've got. I've got a couple of great assistant coaches, Coach Betcher and Coach Procaccino. It has been a really fun, enjoyable year for me. And I don't want to see it end. I really don't. So I'm really looking forward to these final two games, and then looking forward to us preparing for sectionals, and seeing what we can do in the sectional tournament. I think based upon this past week, we are playing some of the best basketball that we've played all season long. So I am excited for these last two games. Hopeful that we can get to 10-10. Fingers crossed, maybe 11-9. That'd be awesome. And then see what we can do in the sectional tournament. But just publicly want to say that to anyone who's listening. Really, just it has been an honor to coach this team and to be a part of this team because it is just such a nice group of young men and some really good basketball players too. And just really a pleasure to be a part of it. So we will honor those five seniors on Thursday, and we'll give it our best against Mount Vernon on Tuesday, and hope that we can get some fans in the stands for both of those two games. I ordered on Amazon a House of Noise poster. And let me go back to my Amazon account here. Where was it? I don't have it up at the moment, but I'm going to pull it up because it said that they tried to deliver this House of Noise poster on February 7th, but the delivery attempt failed. How's that possible? This is Amazon. I didn't think that they failed at delivering, but that's what it says. It says that the delivery was attempted on Saturday, February 7th, but that it failed. So I'm recording this on Sunday, February 8th, Super Bowl Sunday, and I am hoping to have that poster delivered and in my hands by Tuesday evening so that we could hang it up for our home game against Mount Vernon Tuesday night, and for our final home game, final regular season home game of the season, Thursday night against Ketchum. So that's the story, folks, for this week of John Jay Boys Basketball. Really appreciate you listening. I will be back next week to recap our Mount Vernon and Ketchum game, to recap the season, and to sort of preview the sectional tournament and let you know where our seeding is looking like it's going to be, and to preview your possible matchups. Thanks again, everybody, for listening. Hope you are enjoying the Super Bowl, and we'll talk to you next week. Take care.